Okay, let's talk about something that is, incredibly complicated and just loaded with emotion. Getting involved with someone who is already married. It's one of those situations that can feel so intense, so real, but often it brings some really harsh realities with it.
And that brings us to the big question, right? The one that hangs over everything. Does this actually have a future? That's the hope that can keep a person hanging on for months, sometimes even years. So today, we're going to really break down whether that hope is, actually based on anything solid.
When you're in one of these relationships, it's so easy to build up this incredible dream of a future together. But when you look at the facts, the evidence really points to one clear and kind of tough conclusion. It's almost always a dead end. So, let's explore exactly why that is.
When you really boil it down, the logic is kind of impossible to ignore. They are already legally and often emotionally committed to somebody else. That means they just can't give you a real public place in their life. You're always going to be in the shadows. All those dreams you have, building a home, meeting their family, just being a normal couple, they can't happen. By definition, your role, your value in their life has a built-in limit.
And this, right here, is the heart of the problem. Think about it. In a healthy relationship, both people are working together, step by step, to build a future. But in this situation, you're basically just the passenger. You can hope and dream all you want, but you have zero real power to make any of it a reality, because they're already tied to a totally different life.
So to really get why there's no future here, we kind of have to get inside the other person's head. What is their mindset? Why are they doing this in the first place? Because a lot of the time, their motivations are not what you think they are. And when you look at the common reasons, it's pretty revealing. For a lot of them, it's something tragically simple. It's just for fun. They see their marriage as the stable home base, and the affair is just an exciting side adventure. For others, yeah, the reasons are what you'd expect. They're deeply unhappy or their sex life is bad. But here's the key. In almost every case, you become an escape from a reality they don't like, but one they're probably not ready to actually leave. And here it is, the big one. The promise that fuels the entire thing. The idea that one day, they will choose you, and this new, real life you've been dreaming of will finally start. But that promise leads us to maybe the hardest, most important question you have to ask yourself. Can you guarantee that someone who leaves another person for you won't leave you for someone else tomorrow? I mean, really think about that. Even if you get what you want, even if they actually leave, the foundation of your new relationship is built on a broken promise. A pattern has been set. How could you ever, truly, feel secure? And this is what we call the deception cycle. They're basically playing with two separate lives. And it is so important to understand this. They are not just deceiving their spouse. By promising you a future that they know they probably can't or won't deliver, they are actively deceiving you too. So, with all this deception in play, what's the actual outcome? Let's shift our focus now to the real-world fallout, the inevitable emotional price that gets paid by the person who's left waiting for a future that might just never show up. Yeah, when you cut through all the hope and the drama and just look at the odds, the number of secure, stable, happy futures that actually come from these situations, it's basically zero. And here's what that price tag really looks like. Your time, which you can never get back, is wasted. Your own life gets put on hold, completely ruined. The constant up and down leads to emotional breakdowns. Your ability to trust other people and yourself can get shattered, sometimes for good. And in the end, you risk just being used as a temporary fix for their problems, only to be tossed aside when their interest fades. Okay, but this isn't just about understanding the problem. It's about knowing how to avoid this trap in the first place. So let's talk about some clear ways you can protect yourself, because this is where you get to take your power back. First things first, we need to make a really crucial distinction here. This is not about judging someone who is divorced. A divorced person is free, legally and emotionally, to start over and build a new, honest future. A married person is not. Any relationship they start is automatically built on deception and secrecy. They're just not the same thing. So what can you actually do? Well, think of it as doing a little emotional due diligence for yourself. Before you invest your heart and your soul, just invest a little time to verify their situation. Ask the direct questions. Are you single or are you married? This isn't about being cynical or not believing in love. It's about not loving blindly. It's about protecting yourself. And really, this is what it all comes down to. Choosing a life partner, that's absolutely your right. But with that right comes a responsibility. A responsibility to yourself, to make sure you're choosing someone who is actually available, who is honest, and who is capable of building that future with you, not behind someone else's back. So I guess I'll just leave you with this thought. Love itself is never the problem, right? It's a beautiful, wonderful thing. The real danger is when we let that love blind us to reality. When we're so caught up in it that we ignore all the red flags, especially in a situation where the price of heartbreak is just so incredibly high. It's a question worth asking, not just about this situation, but about any relationship we decide to walk into.